I can blow your mind.
Go for it.
So, because I was thinking the other night, I was actually talking about time travel with Christian. And I was talking to him. I'm like, technically, we can never see the present. We always see the past.
That's what I'm saying. That's the video I'm trying to find.
Okay, no, but
Okay,
do you think you understand why I'm saying that?
You can't see the future. You can only see the past.
I'm saying we never see the future. We never see the present. Technically, we can only see the past.
Yeah, because you relive like your memories from the past, right?
No. I'm talking physically, like with our eyes.
Well,
Do you think you know why?
It's your brain, not your eyes, dude. What are you talking about? Your eyes don't do shit.
Oh my god. Okay, so how does light work? Well, how do we see things? What do we need to see things? We need light.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and how does light work?
I don't know. I'm not a physics major.
It travels.
Okay.
So we see something because light hits it, bounces off the object, and then it travels to our eyes, and then our eyes send a message to our brain, and then we interpret the image, correct?
Yeah.
So even though it's super, super fast, the speed at which light travels, it still takes time to get to our eyes. So we're never truly seeing the present. We're always seeing the past. Because by the time that the light rays have hit our eyes and that our eyes have sent the message to our brain, that exact moment has already ceased to exist. You feel me?
I agree.
And that's what kept me up at night. And then also, like, you know how scientists say that if aliens from like their home planet, wherever it is, if they were to point a telescope down at Earth, they wouldn't see people. They would see like dinosaurs or something. Why?
Wait. Can you say that again?
If aliens or like someone in space were to point a telescope down at Earth, they would see dinosaurs and stuff.
It depends on how far though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because light takes time to travel. Yeah. So if they're super far away, they're barely going to be getting light that's of a time that's like way over with already.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
That is very upsetting.
Do you believe in time travel?
Yes.
You do?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I want to believe it, but it's probably not true. It's like a thing that's like, oh, time travel exists. All right, cool. That's pretty much it. Like, I don't know what to think of it.
All right, then let me ask something different then. Do you think time travel is possible?
These are hard. There's questions you have to think about. And I don't want to say yes, because then it's probably going to be like, no. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, well, yeah.
It's my head hurts.
Okay, but we're not scientists, okay? People know we're not scientists. Like, you, as like a normal person, do you think time travel is possible?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why not? Are you thinking about it like scientifically, that it's not physically possible, or are you saying it's not possible because we have no evidence of it?
I feel like scientifically it won't be possible.
So you're thinking of it like physically.
I feel like if we were to time travel, we would have to move at a certain speed or something, or we would have to like somehow like, because if you think about it, you always think of time travel of you like, I guess how do you think people time travel? How do you think, like, is a time machine? Is like a machine?
Well, if you think like, I think most people would see like, most people are basing it off like works of literature, like movies or like books and stuff, and in that kind of stuff they always use some sort of time machine, right?
Yeah.
Like in Back to the Future, like they use a car, and then Doctor Who, he has what is like a phone booth.
Time machine. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fiction.
Yes.
Because scientists, I don't think most scientists say that it's possible, but they do have theories. Like, okay, let's say it was possible. Here's how it would have to happen, right? And so one of those, you started saying it already, it has to do with speed.
Yeah.
So the theory that has to do with the way that time works itself, right? And who's the father of time?
Am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
Think it's the God or what?
No, the theory of time relativity.
Dude, I'm not a nerd.
Dude, Einstein.
Bro, I'm not a nerd.
Okay, whatever. So Einstein, his theory of relativity says that basically time is sort of like an illusion in a way, right? Because time is going to be relative to, it's going to be different depending on your circumstances, so to say. Like, it's going to depend on certain things. So not everyone is going to perceive time, or time is not going to affect everyone in the same way. And so the two things that affect time, according to this theory, are one, speed, the speed at which you are moving, and then 2 is where you're at. So if you think about it, if you're moving faster relative to everything else, time is probably going to go by slower for you. And then if you're in a certain part of the universe where like gravity is affecting things differently, time is also going to be different for you as opposed to like someone on Earth.
I agree.
You're like, yes, it's science. I agree.
Yes.
But like, I think the best example, I don't know if you've seen Interstellar.
No.
Okay, so what happens in Interstellar is basically, so Matthew McConaughey, he leaves Earth because they're trying to find a new planet to inhabit, right? Because Earth is basically no good. And so the thing about his mission is that they're supposed to be using a wormhole to travel, to get them to travel elsewhere, somewhere super far in the galaxy. But when they do that, it's going to mean that he's going to age way slower than everybody else at Earth. So his daughter, who he leaves at the beginning of the movie, she's like 7, 8 years old or something. And so I think they say in the movie, like, for every year on Earth, for every year that he spends on his mission, I think 10 years are supposed to go by on Earth.
Yeah.
So I think if we were to time travel, it would have to do with it would just have to do with certain points in the universe where we get to them and it's like, okay, we're able to use time differently, sort of say. But here's the thing. If time travel, okay, let's say that time travel is possible.
Oh, God.
Do we have any evidence for it? Like, would you be able to point at something and you'd be like, maybe that's proof of time travel?
I don't think so.
Because think about it. If you were able to time travel, what would you do?
What do you mean? I don't
like, is there anything
historical?
That's what I was getting at. Think historically. If there was anything you could do, if you had the gift of time travel, what would you do with that gift? In terms of history,
I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't want to fuck up anything.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
But that's because you know about time travel, right? But like, let's say the ordinary person who doesn't really know like the gist of it, what would they want to do historically with time travel?
Dinosaurs.
They would want to see dinosaurs.
I have no idea.
But like, the thing I'm getting at is like all these terrible things that have happened in history.
Oh, you think they'll want to stop it?
Yeah,
so you think they want to kill Hitler,
about it, though, right?
Or you want, people who do that are kind of they shouldn't time travel to begin with.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking, because I think a lot of people bring up that argument where it's like, okay, if we do have time travel, then why hasn't anybody like gone back in time to like kill Hitler or like stop some kind of war from happening and stuff, right? But I think if there was people who had access to time travel, they would probably know better than to do that.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you do something in the past?
Can mess up the future or the present.
Yeah, like any tiny little thing you do can like alter things in ways that you don't even predict. Can alter everything entirely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of movies often like fail to show or fail to bring up, that changing stuff in the past, it can disrupt everything, and like who knows what could happen because of that.
Yeah.
What would you use time travel for? Like say that there was none of those consequences to time travel. What would you use time travel for?
Dude, I don't. Nothing like really comes up to me like right now. I'm fine here. Like, I guess.
So you wouldn't use it at all?
Well, what do you want to see? You tell me, and then maybe like something will come up with me.
I think I would use time travel just as like for the same reason that people just travel in space, like for the same reason that people go to like Rome and stuff. Like I just want to like see certain things. Like I'm not trying to interact with anything, but there's just stuff I would want to see.
So, I'm guessing. So let's go back to. So remember when Bigfoot, the whole thing, where you go back to the same location the same day, Bigfoot was allegedly. You get me?
You would go back to that point where the two guys said they saw Bigfoot and they used see if it's true or something.
Yeah,
dude, I didn't think of that. That's actually a good idea. Go back to Roswell at the exact point where the UFO crashed and try to see if it happened or not. Dude, that's actually.
Or you're there beforehand, but then you find out there's actually like FBI agents already there, or like
imagine they're like setting everything up and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I did not think of that. That's actually, yeah, that would be at the top of my bucket list now. Actually, like so much stuff you could settle.
Is time traveling like only like on Earth, or can you time travel to the moon?
Time travel is not gonna change your location. It's just gonna change your. It's just gonna change time. So like, if I was in my room right now and I time traveled, I would still be in the location where my room is at, just at a different point in time.
All right, but you're not gonna be. So let's say you time travel back to like dinosaurs.
Okay.
So you're in your area of your room where you're supposed to be.
I would be in the same geographic position, but just at a different point in time.
How will you be able to be born?
What do you mean?
It doesn't make sense. Like
how would I exist in
that? You shouldn't exist. Yeah, you shouldn't exist. Like, how does it work? It's not. Think about. It's not possible now.
Well,
there's no.
Because you're saying there's no. My ancestors haven't even existed yet.
Nothing.
None of that exists. Yeah. At that point in time, yeah. But because I'm coming from this point in time, it's sort of like mixing things up.
It's just I can't. I guess I'm not comprehending it. Like, I am comprehending it, but my head's just saying like, I'm not smart enough to
like
to explain what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I guess
like how does matter work? Like, how does it's I can't express myself.
Well, the thing and that brings up another theory for people for like scientists who bring up time travel, and it's that there are different sort of like planes of reality, so to say. And so they're saying that if you go back in time, you might be affecting your plane of reality, but there's still like it's like stacking up a bunch of sheets of paper, right? And it's like saying like they're all paper and they're all sort of the same thing, but they're each of them are still their own piece of paper. So each of those timelines is like sort of the same thing happening, but when you time travel back, you might be creating a new timeline, like a new sheet of paper in its own. So it's not exactly yours.
Talking about Avengers.
Yeah, sort of like that sort of thing.
I guess.
And then that brings up like another way of time traveling, because we have how many dimensions that we can access? Do you know?
What? We have more than one?
What dimension are we living in?
I didn't even know there was more than one. What are you saying?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, you're talking about like
in terms of physics. What did you think I was talking about?
Are you talking about like 3D or?
Well, where does 3D come from?
I thought you were talking about like actual like alternate universe dimensions.
No, I'm saying like okay. Physics wise. What does 3D stand for? Third dimension, right?
Dimensional.
Why is it called third dimension?
It's like a solid. It's not like plane.
Well, what's the difference between 2D and 3D?
I just told you. One's plane and
one's flat, right?
Yeah, that's
so plane, 2D. 2D, you have length and you have width. Okay. Yeah. Once you cross over to 3D, you have length, width, and what else?
You got them Z.
You have length, width, and height. So another plane that you can travel on. Do you understand that so far?
Yeah. Okay. That's a Z.
So that's third dimension. That's like you're able to travel front, back, left, right, but you're also able to travel up and down. So that's stuff that we can access now, right? We can move forward in space, backwards in space, left, right, up and down in space.
So you're saying the fourth dimension is time?
Yeah. So the fourth dimension, we put time in. But thinking about it, technically, we are time traveling all the time. The only thing is that we're only time traveling in one direction.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So if we're able to cross over to like the fifth dimension, in the same way that we are able to travel in space, left, right, up, down, we would be able to travel in time that same way. So it's saying that time is not necessarily linear, that we'd be able to like use time to like its full advantage in the same way that we use space.
We're not going to be able to, we don't know.
But we don't even know about that. That's still just like a theory and stuff. It's like, how do we even comprehend how to shift between those kinds of things, right? Which is what, like, going back to, I was talking about Interstellar. So spoiler if you haven't seen it, but at the end of the movie, the main character ends up going into a black hole, And basically what he finds out is that the black hole is basically sort of like what shifts him into a different dimension. And so just as people move around space, inside the black hole he's able to like see time in its entirety, like not just one point in time. He's able to like see different points in time and affect different points in time. And it's like super trippy. But like that's the kind of thing, like I don't think if we're able to time travel, it's not going to be through like a machine. It's going to be through somewhere in space where time doesn't work the way it does here. And so we're just going to use like little different hotspots, if you get me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Well, I can see it now.
So I don't want to, like, I'm one of those people who thinks that it is possible to time travel, but not necessarily the way that most people think time travel would work out.
So you're just saying time travel will like slow down time? Why it's not accelerate?
Yeah, time travel is going to work in that the pace at which it is moving is going to change. That sort of thing. Mm-hmm.
So you're pretty much saying we're not going to be able to go back in time, or we won't be able to go back in time, but you're saying we might be able to go forward in time?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Going back in time, that's a little. I think that's still a little far out. But
that's stupid.
The idea of moving faster in time than other people, that's totally possible. That is possible.
I can see that because of how time changes
in different parts of the universe.
Yeah,
where gravity is different, or how far that you are from certain things.
The movement, the rotation.
Yeah, that's just science, and like that is accountable.
I can see that.
But then the idea is like, how do we even get to there? So we don't even have the technology for that yet. So there's no way of really like proving it or like showing that we can do it.
But why won't people want to do it? They're gonna go, and then they're gonna. Wait, the thing is, if you're one of these universes or planets, whatever, that time travels faster, do you yourself travel? Like, do you yourself age faster as well?
You're gonna travel at the same. I mean, you're gonna age at the same speed as everybody else on there, but you're not as everybody else on Earth. Like, for example, if you go to if you're from Earth, I get that, and you go to one of those planets, it's gonna be different.
You're gonna come back 6 years old,
older than everybody else here.
Yeah,
or younger.
Who would want to do that? Who would want to do that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you start thinking about like all the complications that come out of time travel, I don't think if we have access to time travel, or if we have access to time travel in the future, I don't think it's something that everybody would have access to.
The only reason time travel would be ideal would be. No, I don't really understand. There's no reason for it.
Yeah,
to have.
It's too. I think there's more danger out of it than can come out of benefit at times.
What would be the benefit?
Unpredictable. Though? Yeah, well, like if we go back to like what we were saying before about like what would you change about the past, like if there's something you could change, but it's like, okay, so you stop something bad from happening, but then there's so many other things that can happen from that action alone that you can't predict. So I think that's why I think if we have time travel now, if we've had it in the past, or if we get it in the future, I don't think it's something that everybody will have access to, because imagine how dangerous that would be.
I suppose.
Like some crack. Imagine what a crackhead would do with time travel, dude.
I think he'll fucking die.
Right?
He'll like, be dead after he
break something back all of a sudden. It's like, you guys miss Nirvana? Me too. Give me a second.
I'm still.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, because you time travel, say one place to another. No, I'm not saying
one time to another.
No, I'm not. I mess people like I'm not. I just meant like you to time travel. You would need to go to a different world, like you can't time travel here because of how time moves here.
Okay, yeah. You get me? So you would have to go to a different point. So by the time travel that we were talking about, like through different hotspots around the universe, you would have to travel to that point, right? Correct. But then you would when you time travel, you would still be at that point, just at a different point in time.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if that did exist, that's totally pointless for us now, because we don't even have the technology for that.
I think. Imagine time travel with black holes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, like wormholes, sort of thing. That's.
But the thing is, I don't think we can physically survive one.
Exactly. That's another thing that they bring up. The scientists bring up, because what happens with wormholes is that if you look at pictures of wormholes or what's it called, black holes, they bend gravity, but they don't only bend gravity, but they bend light as well, right? Yeah. So in order to sustain, like, let's say we built a machine that we wanted to take through a wormhole to time travel. In order for that machine to survive going through a wormhole, we need something called negative matter, which there's most matter is positive. Pretty much all matter that we know of is positive matter. And to have negative matter, first of all, we can't really make it. Like, we would only be able to make it in like super small amounts. And even then, like, it'd still be super dangerous, like, to keep a wormhole open and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these things exist, but we can't even harness them because we don't even have the technology for that.
Pretty sure try harvesting negative matter, it's gonna be a big old bomb.
Imagine. It's like Spider-Man 2. Best Spider-Man movie.
Dr. Octopus.
Hey, Dr. Octopus with that thing he's creating. But like, see, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there would be more energy, time, and money spent in trying to make time travel work, where I don't see a huge benefit coming out of it. Like, there's no point in it. Like, if you're gonna waste so much, why even do that anymore?
Yeah. You know how eclipse happen? Mm-hmm. How the sun and the moon meet up at a certain time, and like, what if that's a thing with multiple wormholes to the point where it it eats the Earth.
The wormhole eats the Earth.
Yeah, and then we ourselves all together time travel.
Everybody time travels. Would we even know that we time traveled? Like, what if it's happened already? Like, all of us as a whole time traveled, so we don't really have anything to compare to see, to like contrast to see the difference. Would we know that we time traveled?
I don't think so.
The moon is suddenly like way more polished, like it doesn't have many asteroid marks on it and stuff.
Bro,
it's like, damn, what highlight is the moon using?
Maybe that's happening, and then maybe that's why we're also finding more planets.
Like, imagine, farther away. Dude, wouldn't that be crazy if all of Earth time traveled, and then there's some planets that are not even there yet or stuff.
Yeah, but we're also moving with the time travel, so it's like
that makes me think though. Like, is the like, with the ellipse that we make around the sun change? Like, would gravity be different? Because that would mean, like, let's say we time traveled back in time.
No,
like, all of Earth, like, the sun would technically be younger. So would we even be able to survive in that solar system? That'd be crazy. I don't know enough about the solar system to say like
that's just too much. That's too much.
Imagine we just time travel forward and the sun only has like 2 years left of life before it blows up.
Dude, it's crazy how like they're saying like how the sun can explode at any time. Oh, the sun is gonna explode.
It is. It's gonna happen.
The sun. It's gonna happen.
We're not gonna be alive for it though.
I mean, you never know.
Well, there is a chart where it's like stages of color. I think in its last stages, it's gonna be like red. Let's see.
Dude, by then there are gonna be so many spaceships trying to get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, dude. We're super far from that.
They're literally, that's you have the technology has to be really high, because as soon as the sun explodes, it's literally gonna mess up like the whole like galaxy, our galaxy.
For sure, dude. That's what's key. That's what's keeping the gravity going. But I think the color of a star has to do with its life. I don't know if it starts off as blue or if it near the end if it's blue, but I think we're sort of near the middle, towards like the middle end. But even then, it's gonna be a super long time before that happens. At least for us.
It's gonna look sick though.
But yeah, that's gonna be a pretty gnarly problem for people in the future.
If I'm about to die and I'm time traveling, I want to time travel to when the sun explodes.
To when the sun explodes?
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Dude, look how cool it looks.
Dude, but imagine dying that way.
What if
like a solar flare, just like
you'll just turn into a mutant, and then your cells travel millions of light years away from the Earth, and then you create a new civilization with your cells.
With new mutant civilizations, like just with your little mutant buddies.
But you're dead. You don't know anything about this because you're dead. But you're literally starting a civilization.
What would be the good of that if you don't even know it happened?
Oh, that's what you. I don't know how to explain, but that's how
life starts, man. Like, what if we are a result of something like that?
You don't do good just so you can see the outcome.
Okay.
You do good because you do good.
Mr. Morality right here.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But like, yeah, like dying from a solar flare. I used to be super scared of that, but now I'm like, solar flare? That's not gonna happen while we're alive. Oh, but it's like the equivalent. It's like when you put something on the grill, on like the stove, on like a pan of oil, and it like jumps out, which is just like random. Imagine that, but like a huge solar flare, like nope.
The sun exploding is equivalent to the San Andreas fault splitting.
What happens when the sun explodes?
What do you mean?
What?
You're done. Everything's done. All the planets explode.
But when a star dies, doesn't it create like a black hole? I'm not sure. Let me look it up. When a star dies.
Make a supernova.
A supernova, right? Yeah, but isn't it a black hole? A supernova can turn into a black hole, right?
Powerful occurs during the last evolution stages of a massive star, and it's when the white dwarf is triggered into the runaway nuclear fusion as a big explosion, by the way.
So it doesn't necessarily turn into a black hole, but it can.
It's literally a nuclear fusion, which is a nuclear fusion that big will literally wipe out anything in its, like, or wipe out everything.
That's dope.
That's what I'm saying. Where do you want to see that?
No, because where would I be able to see that from? Like, am I gonna be safe? If I'm safe, yeah.
No, you're gonna be like 100 years old. You're literally about to die, and that's what I'm saying. If I'm about to die, I don't want to see this.
Just because it's pretty.
I'll have a picnic at the park. I'll look up at the sun.
Oh, park where? Dude, you wouldn't even get. By the time it happens, you wouldn't even be able to process it. You'd be like roasted already. Good. You're acting like you're far away. Like no.
I'm gonna see it for 0.0001 seconds of my lifetime.
If I'm about to die, I'm not gonna trying to watch this supernova, dude. I'm gonna be trying to like pop in like, I don't know, like have like In-N-Out next to me, and just like a stack of like Blu-rays. So people on the internet have been doing their internet duty, and they put together like a bunch of like, I guess, picture proof or story proof of time travelers. And so there's one, and it's an old Charlie Chaplin movie. And so basically people are saying that this is time travel because in one scene in the background, you see a lady walking by, and it looks like she's like talking into a cell phone up to her head. And if you look at it, that is how you see someone walking on a cell phone, right? But like obviously there weren't cell phones back then. So like some people are just saying like, oh no, she's just like holding on to her like coat collar or something. But man, like imagine. I don't think this is true. I don't think this is real, but wouldn't that be pretty dope? Yeah. Don't you think people will look at you a little bit weird
if you had something on your
like, what are you doing?
I mean, I don't think people even thought much about this. Like when the movie was released or whatever.
I don't think people. Yeah, this wasn't noticed until 2010.
But who notices? They're like, oh, what is that? Like
someone watching a Charlie Chaplin movie is like,
yeah, it's probably a crazy person too then.
Yeah. I mean, what? And then there is also, let me see if I can find it. This one right here, another lady, the same situation, who appears to be like on a cell phone while she's like just walking.
Is that the video?
Yeah. Time Traveler in 1938 film. That's what it's titled. Woman on cell phone. But like, here she comes. Look. What was that? It doesn't really look like a cell phone though.
It's not a purse. Wait, the girl has that in her hand too on the right. Is that big? Never mind.
On her right? No, she has something else.
No.
It doesn't look like a cell phone though. At least not the ones we have today. It looks super small. It could have honestly just been like a little, like a hand mirror or like some piece of like makeup palette. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't really look like a cell phone. And she doesn't look like she was talking into it either. She just brought it up for like a few seconds to her face. But yeah, what do you say? Fake? Real?
I don't know. I can see it, but why is the one around her being like, oh, what is that?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Nobody's making a big fuss about it.
They're all time travelers?
They're all time travelers too.
Yeah, the whole gang right there.
I don't think it doesn't look like a cell phone to me, but it's still it's pretty fun to look at. And then there's one more. So this is actually a story of a guy who claims he had like time jumped or something, but basically he's a pilot, and he goes to this airfield, and he says he clearly remembers it being in like a really bad state. Like it's just like it's an old airfield. He was going to pilot this plane, and he says like it just looks like it's been abandoned and stuff. Like it's old, like it needs some work done to it and stuff. But like, yeah, I don't know. He didn't pay much attention to it, and so later that day, he's in his plane. He's flying, and he gets into this like storm. Basically, it's like raining. He's having some trouble flying, so he takes the plane back to where he had to the field that he had taken off from. And so as he's getting back to the field, he states that the lighting changed like super drastically. Like instead of rain and clouds, it turned into sunlight like really quick, like almost like all of a sudden, right? And he looks down at the airfield that had been that he had described before, and he says that it had been like completely renovated and it was now like in full use. Like there weren't any people there before. Like it was just him basically and a bunch of old airplanes. And now that he was flying back to it, that it was renovated and like the planes were new. There were mechanics and stuff like walking around. Like it was full, right? So, like a full.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his deal is.
So he's saying he went to the future? Like he's in the future right now?
I honestly don't know. I don't know.
That's kind of.
He could have been to the past, to a past where like the airfield was much more like brand new and stuff, or he could have gone into the future where they just like renovated it and something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty trippy. That would suck. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Cause think about going to a time where you don't know anybody, where everything is different.
Yeah.
Like nah. And that's another reason that I'd be scared of time traveling that I've never really thought about. Where it's like, okay, you time travel and you think everything's good, but what if something happens and you can't get back? Like think about it. People have car problems all the time, like stuff with your phone and stuff. Like what's to say that's not gonna happen?
They're gonna have to wait until the future, so the future develops a time machine, and then
man,
they're gonna have to get the parts and then go back.
Like that'd be a nightmare to think about. Like, if there's like AAA for like time machines or something, we're gonna come tow your time machine. That would suck. But yeah. And then there's one more picture. I think this is one of the first pictures that I had seen. But basically, they called it the time traveling hipster because there's this picture from 1941, and there's a bunch of people gathered around their cars. I don't know what for. They seem to all be looking at something. But I want to see if you can find it. See if you can find the hipster who they say is time traveling.
Yeah, the guy with the glasses and the M.
Yeah, you found it pretty fast. Yeah. But yeah, if you look, because people are saying that he's a time traveler because he everybody else is wearing like suits, like typical 1940s attire, and then it looks like he's wearing like a cardigan sort of hoodie, and then a graphic T-shirt, and he has these like sunglasses on. Like if you saw this photo, he stood out to you right away, right?
Yeah.
Does he look like someone from that time to you?
No.
But a lot of people were saying that, like, so the people that disprove this are saying that, okay, these type of sunglasses were actually worn around in the 1920s.
Yeah, but they look like those welding glasses.
The what glasses?
Welding
glasses?
Well, yeah, like the metal ones, where you like metal. So yeah.
Imagine being that ahead of everybody else's style. Like you're that guy. Like you guys don't get it, but your kids are gonna love it. That little Back to the Future quote for you nerds out there.
All right, you want to watch the video? Or
yeah, show me the video.
Why is sleeping in considered lazy, but going to bed early isn't? I wonder if my dog only follows me into the washroom when I gotta go, because I follow him outside when he's gotta go. If we had no eyes, then we'd be unaware of the existence of color. Well, what if we are missing an entire aspect of everything simply because we don't have an organ to detect it? Hey, yo, if most people are buried in suits, would a zombie apocalypse be a formal event? Your future self is watching you right now. Through memories.
Okay, that was it. Your future self is watching you right now through memories.
Right now. Well, they're not watching you with their eyes. They're just remembering you. But like the other thing he said that I thought was really interesting, that I forgot to bring it up when we were talking about aliens, but it's the part where he says, so like if we didn't have eyes, we wouldn't know about the color, right? I mean, unless other people like brought it up to us, but we specifically we would have no idea about color or how to understand it because we don't have the senses to perceive it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like same thing with like aliens and I guess time travel and all these sort of things. Like there could be so many things out there in the universe that we don't even know exist because we can't even perceive them, and we might never be able to.
So you're saying they have like this special thing where only like they're invisible, like they have this invisible thing.
Well, we just can't
become aware,
or they're not even aware of us. Like imagine if.
Oh my God, what was that movie called or that TV show?
Which one?
Oh, this is I don't know, but it's like I guess it's spirits, and they walk past by us, but we can't see them, and they can't see us. But we're living a life right now, and they're living a life in the same earth. We just can't see them.
See, well, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Like, imagine if nobody on Earth had eyesight. Like, if sight was just not one of our senses, and imagine there was like an alien, because the universe is so big. We can, and when we think of aliens and stuff, we always relate it to like stuff that we know about on Earth. Like it's always organic and it's biological, like us and stuff. But what's to say that there isn't an alien life, like an intelligent life, that is just like, let's say like light or just energy in a way that we can't even perceive because we don't have the senses for that.
Or we all got anal probed so we can't see them.
That's it.
I'm thinking also maybe an alien did capture like a human and then they found out like how their body works for them to be able to be invisible to us. That's scary.
Basically,
that's that's scary. I'm not gonna go outside to work out anymore. I'm scared.
You don't have to go outside. They can probably get you like wherever you're at. But like that's what I'm saying. There could be so many things. Like, okay, so I'm gonna bring up the Bible in a way because there's usually two types of people, right? There's the people who take the Bible seriously, like all these miracles that happened, and then there's people who say like, oh no, that's just like a figure of speech in a way, like it's not to be taken literally and stuff. But it's like saying, what if in a way, like all the stuff that did happen, it's not necessarily like a miracle. It's not like magic in a sense. Like what if there's just forms of science that we don't even know about, that we can't even access in a way, that allow for like all these things to happen, like so just because we don't have senses for it.
Jesus came back to life because they have some type of technology we lost, or what are you saying?
I'm just saying that like it isn't necessarily like that Jesus is like a wizard or like a sorcerer or anything, but what if like Jesus is just in a way like the ultimate scientist? Because think about it. If you went back in time,
Avatar.
Like he's just been using like basic science this whole time.
No, he's an avatar, and then when he died, he got recreated to Einstein, and then when Einstein died, he got to get recreated to Stephen Hawking, and then when Stephen Hawking died, he's gonna get recreated to someone else,
like reborn or something. Yeah. But like the point I'm trying to get into is like let's say you went back to like cavemen, and then you started a fire. Very basically.
That's crazy.
They would think like, oh, it's a miracle. Like, how did that happen and stuff? But you're just using basic science that you know about. So it's like saying like, what if there's like everything that we think is like miracle or impossible is just a form of science that we don't even know about yet, that we haven't even found about.
I get you. Like
because there's so much that we haven't explored, that we haven't been to and like discovered yet. Like it's totally possible that so many things that we label as impossible are just because we haven't gotten to the point where we can use science to accomplish them yet.
We can't. Yeah, like we're not aware of them. We're not.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not magic. It's not miracles or anything. It's just science that we aren't aware about.
Okay, now I'm just thinking about the Bible. So my head's taking it. I'm thinking
like about angels. Were they really angels, or were they just UFOs and people like aliens and stuff? Like there's that one part of the Bible where like, I don't remember who it is. It's like a saint or something. I don't know. But the point is that he gets picked up. In the Bible, it describes it as like a big chariot, like a big metallic chariot with like lights and stuff. And it's like, what if they just describe it this way? But what if that's what we would call nowadays like a UFO?
That's crazy.
Like, what if all this time the angels that they were talking about and all that stuff are just like aliens in a way? And if you think about it, like angels do technically qualify to us as aliens because they just aren't from Earth. But yeah, like what if everything you put it under a new light and it's just something else?
But who would have wrote it like this? So you're saying like back then instead of UFOs like those discs, there were just chariots coming.
Yeah, because if you think about how they describe it, like a metallic chariot with like lights.
Dude, that's kind of fucked. Imagine this actual like aliens and UFOs and all that, and they just all made us believe in a religion.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like all the like the puppet, the mastermind.
Because it all has to do with how they interpreted it and stuff. But if we reinterpret it, we're like, wow, it could have been many things.
Yeah.
Like miracles that happen or events that happen. What if they're just like new interpretations for them that they just took it another way? But yeah, so at the beginning you said you didn't believe in time travel. Do you think you might believe in it now? Yes or no?
That will be a mystery. I don't know.
But like you do agree that there are points in the universe where time works differently.
Yeah. Okay. I agree that time travels differently in a different part of the world or a different part of the different universe.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest.
Because I mean that's kind of proven already because of how Mars rotates, how like every other planet rotates differently because of the gravitational pull. So, in theory, yes.
Yeah, right. So in theory, if we were to time travel, we would first have to travel in space to those points. And then once we get there, find out how we can travel through time through those points.
Yeah.
That sounds like too much work.
Yeah. Thank God you're not a scientist.
Yeah, we're super far from that. I don't know. Maybe
I mean, yeah. Maybe one day a super genius comes out of nowhere, finds out, solves all of the formulas.
What if ghosts are just time travelers?
No, it's just too much.
Because we see. What if after you die, you're able to access the fifth dimension?
No. Oh, you saw that? My head just exploded when he said that.
Yeah, like what if after you die, since you're not bound to spatial properties anymore, you can access the dimension of time in the same way that you move through space, and that's why you see ghosts of like people that are like in like super older times.
What if spirits and ghosts are just the fifth dimension?
That's what I'm saying. We die and we go to the fifth dimension.
Fifth dimension,
bro.
I mean,
that makes sense. I mean, you see, because
it kind of sucks. We don't know where we go after we die, so we can't never prove that ever in our lives until we die.
Oh, but we can't disprove it either, so it's just fun to talk about. Because you do see ghosts of like older people, like soldiers and like people who died like a long time ago in their clothes and stuff.
What if you have a choice to be a spirit or to be reincarnated or just to be dead or in general?
I don't know. I would want to be reincarnated, honestly.
I don't think so. I want to have my memories.
You would have to go through school again.
Like, I'm gonna think about this
stuff. And then, because it's like you're reincarnated, you've already lived. Why not try something else now?
Yeah.
But okay, next time you see a ghost, just remember it's just a time traveler.
Or an alien.
That's gonna be you one day.
I don't know.
But that would be dope
for a long time.
Like I'm gonna be able to see all the movies that are gonna come out after I die. See where cinema's gonna go next.
I don't think you'll be able to time travel. I think you'll just live your life as a spirit. I think
gonna be like bouncing around.
I think you just probably go back in time or something. And I don't even think you go back in time either. I just think you'll be bouncing around.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe like you can only like bounce around like certain spaces that you have a connection with.
To debunk that, we could say that it's just what's it called when you don't go to hell or heaven, you're just in the middle?
Like purgatory or something?
Purgatory? Like it's pretty much purgatory. It's purgatory or limbo.
I guess the only way to debunk that is to communicate with them. Episode 4.
But you don't want to.
We don't want to do that, yeah.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Guys, if we get 100 subscribers, I'm telling you right now.
100 subscribers we will
go to the Queen Mary and communicate with ghosts.
It's like, hey, are you guys time travelers?
And we would ask them, are they time travelers?
Oh, dude.
100 subscribers, we'll go to Queen Mary.
100 subscribers. I'm down to do it. Queen Mary, yeah.
Oh, shit.